Welcome back to Magic in the Muck, a soul's compass for change. I'm so glad that you're here today. In our last episode, we explored a place that many of us struggle with, resistance. We looked at how resistance is often a messenger of fear rather than failure, and how compassion and curiosity can help us move through those stuck places. Before that, I shared the 4 core principles that guide my healing work, the compass that supports transformation from the inside out. Today's episode grows out of both of those ideas and focuses on another part of the transformation process, integration and practice. How we move from knowing and feeling to becoming and embodying. Because here's the truth. Awareness isn't enough. Insight might spark the desire to change, but real transformation takes practice. It takes embodiment and choosing again and again to anchor that new awareness and that change in your being into your daily life. Transformation is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you really are beneath the old protective layers, beneath the coping, beneath the perfectionism, the overfunctioning, and all those masks that we've learned to wear in order to survive. That remembering of who we are, it takes time. It's not a quick snap of the fingers and, oh, here I am. Awareness isn't enough for change to take place. But it is the beginning, and it is an important, essential part of the beginning. When I'm aware of my experience and what's happening inside for me, my feelings about my feelings, my perceptions, my beliefs, my deep core beliefs that I sometimes get in my way, that may not be the truth about who I am. When I'm aware of my expectations of myself, my expectations of others, and what I think others are expecting from me. When I'm aware of my yearnings, what I'm really needing and longing for. And when I'm more aware and in touch with my internal resources, my wisdom, my creativity, my intuition, my love, my ability to connect, and my compassion. Developing this awareness, and when I can be aware of what I'm experiencing in a moment in time, I can acknowledge that this is my experience. I can then work on accepting it, which doesn't mean I have to like it, but I can accept that this is how it is at this moment. Then I get to decide what I might want to change. When I can own my experience and what I'm going to work on changing, then I can take action. We might not always know what that action is. This is where having insight, having someone ask those questions and help you find those blind spots, but taking action and anchoring and integrating the shift to further embody a new way of being with myself, a new way of being with others and with my environment that I'm in. It's a cycle that I return to often. A way of moving from insight to embodiment. So first awareness, acknowledgement, owning your internal experience. Acceptance, not because you like it, but because it is just what it is at that moment. Taking action, small intentional steps forward. Anchoring the shift. Integrating and practicing the change into daily life. And appreciation, appreciating your inner strength and noticing what was mustered internally, what you have to do inside to take that courageous action towards change. We need all of it, not just insight, not just strategy, but a weaving of awareness into action again and again, until it becomes part of who we are. One of the anchoring practices that has carried me through some of my darkest seasons of my life is a simple phrase. a mantra that emerged during a time when my world was falling apart. So let me take you back to the year 2007. I was newly pregnant with our first child, filled with all kinds of anticipation and hope for the road ahead. And then, in my second trimester, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. At that time, he was given weeks to live, the doctor said. I remember so clearly, even now, as I'm sharing this with you, I remember sitting in that doctor's office. I was holding a notepad, taking copious amounts of notes because that was my way of trying to keep it together, while trying to take in this new reality. Something inside me also started to splinter, but at the same time, something else awakened. A really deep knowing that I had to find a way to stay present for my body and for the baby growing inside of me, and for the love that my husband and I still had in that moment. That's when this mantra came to me. At this moment in time. At this moment in time, my husband is alive. At this moment in time, we're walking together in the forest. At this moment in time, there's hope. At this moment in time, I'm held by a community who loves us. This simple phrase became a lifeline for me, a sacred return. This wasn't about bypassing grief or pretending that everything was okay, but really anchoring into the reality that grace and grief can exist side by side. Years later, when I was diagnosed with MS, I found myself returning to that same phrase, at this moment in time. At this moment in time, I can still walk. At this moment in time, my breath is steady. At this moment in time, I can listen. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. So integration really is a practice. It's not a destination. It's not a finish line that you cross, but it's a practice that you commit to, a mantra to return to, a breath that you take. Maybe it's a pause before the old pattern kicks in, just catching yourself in that, I know that I do this often, and taking a breath just to slow down, just to think maybe there's another way, or maybe there's something else I can do in this moment. It becomes a choice to stay, to soften, and to try again. Change doesn't stick just because we understand it. It sticks because we live it. We know it. We embody it. You might know this already. You've probably had moments of deep insight where something inside you clicked, where an old story unraveled and you felt free. And then life gets busy. My goodness, does it get busy? Old patterns tend to sneak back in. We have a tendency to go back to the status quo, especially in times of stress. We do what we know, even if it's not in our best, healthiest, in our best interest. But old patterns do have a way of sneaking back in. It's easy to feel like you're back where you started, but I really want to assure you, everyone, including myself, we're not back where we started. Every single time that you remember what matters, every time you pause before reacting, and each time that you choose to respond differently, you're integrating, you're becoming, you're deepening your capacity to live from your soul. So I'd like to offer a gentle reflection for you this week. Just ask yourself, where in your life are you being invited to integrate what you already know? What's one small practice, one breath, one phrase, one choice that could help anchor that knowing into your daily life? If you'd like, you can borrow my mantra at this moment in time, Or maybe there's a phrase that's uniquely yours, a soul reminder that you can carry with you. You might even write it down and place it somewhere that you'll see. Let it become your return point, your anchor, your sacred thread. So what's next? In the next episode, we're going to explore something that often gets overlooked in the healing journey. How we sustain transformation over time. How practice becomes embodiment. How living soul aligned doesn't just stay an idea, but it becomes a way of being. Until then, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this path of becoming with me. And thank you for remembering that even here, even now, there is magic in the muck. Until next time. Thank you for being here with me on Magic in the Muck. If today stirred something in you, and you're ready to walk this path more deeply, I invite you to join the Soul Compass Circle, a journey of reflection, connection, and soul-aligned living. You don't have to do this alone. Just visit the link in the show notes to step into the circle. I look forward to meeting you there.
I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we're honored to have Jennifer Nagel's show Magic in the Muck as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com, and don't forget to grab your free gifts from our hosts in the gift fold. Stay high vibe and keep sharing your light.